Hi everybody, it's Jill from PragerU Kids. Welcome to our marathon. We've got all your favorite PragerU Kids shows right here, right now. Enjoy. Hi, sorry I'm late. Otto? Were you trying to teach me a lesson about being late? Yes, well, you're right. I shouldn't have been late, but I'm here now. Welcome to Otto's Tales, storytime brought to you by PrEP, PragerU's resources for educators and parents. I'm Jill, and today I'm going to share an old legend from England about a king who, well, learned another kind of great big lesson. It's called King Alfred and the Cakes. Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a powerful king named Alfred. He was wise, he was strong, he was one of the best kings England ever had. But there was trouble in King Alfred's kingdom. The land was invaded by another army from across the sea. They fought and they fought and they fought. King Alfred didn't want to lose his kingdom, but his army struggled, was broken apart, and scattered across the land, unable to defeat their enemy. Because they lost, King Alfred had to escape and disguise himself as a shepherd so no one would find him and he could hide. He wandered through woods and swamps. Soon, he came upon a hut that belonged to a woodcutter and his wife. Tired and very hungry, King Alfred knocked on the door. He asked for something to eat. The woodcutter's wife said, "Come in," and had no idea who he was. She told him, "I'll give you something to eat if you will watch these cakes I'm baking on my stove. Watch them carefully and don't let them burn," she said. The king agreed, and the woodcutter's wife left. King Alfred tried to pay attention to the cakes, but he allowed his mind to daydream. He thought about his army. He thought about his people. He wondered if he'd ever get back home to his land. King Alfred concentrated on his problems and forgot all about the cakes. Well, when the woodcutter's wife came back, the hut was filled with smoke and her cakes were burned to a crisp. King Alfred didn't even notice. "You lazy person!" she yelled at King Alfred. "Look what you've done! You wanted something to eat, but you didn't do what you said you'd do, and now none of us will have any supper." King Alfred was embarrassed and ashamed. Just then, the woodcutter came home, saw his wife yelling at King Alfred, and recognized that he really was the king. "Stop yelling," the woodcutter told his wife. "This is our king." Now the wife was embarrassed and ashamed. She apologized. "Don't apologize," the king told her. "You were right to be upset. You gave me a job, I accepted, and then I didn't do the job I promised you I would do. I was not responsible, and anyone who accepts a responsibility, big or small, should do it faithfully and excellently, even if they are a king." The king thanked them for their hospitality and then left. Soon after, he found his army again and won his kingdom back. The end. We love this tale because it reminds us that no matter how small a job may seem, it is our duty to do that job well, because attention to little duties often prepares us to meet larger ones in the future. Doing a small job well means that you'll be ready for a bigger, more important job later. Leadership and responsibility go together, and in America, taking responsibility for our actions is a value we believe in, and that helps everybody. Now, are you responsible, Otto? Yes, you are. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep being responsible. Bye. Yay! Welcome to Craftery by PrEP, PragerU resources for educators and parents. We've got crafts, history, and your questions. I'm Jill, and today we're gonna be doing something the whole family can do together. We're custom designing a platter to put all of our favorite foods and treats on for celebrating our American holidays. Okay, here's what you'll need. A large white porcelain platter, washed and dried, acrylic paint pens made especially for porcelain, and you will need an oven. You might need an adult's help with this part. Okay, but we're not gonna do just any kind of design. We're gonna decorate this platter to celebrate our American Trinity values, which are liberty, in God we trust, and e pluribus unum. Oh, we've got a question.
Wait, what was that word that you just said? I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, what does it mean?
I had a feeling you would ask that. You mean e pluribus unum? Yes, e pluribus unum is not English. It's Latin, which is a very old language that not many people know how to speak anymore. E pluribus unum means out of many, one. This saying was first created in 1776 when our 13 colonies became a nation, and it was one of America's very first mottos. Now today, it means that America doesn't care how different we all might be or where our families come from, because we are all here together as one, united. Isn't that awesome? So, you ready to make our platter now? Make sure you help your mom or dad wash and dry it before you start painting, okay? All right, let's go. First, let's start with the words e pluribus unum. Now, I always like to check my spelling and practice before I paint it on the plate, so stick with me. With a plain scrap piece of paper, make sure your spelling is correct. I'm gonna focus on the red, white, and blue today. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. What you can also do is very lightly trace it in pencil on the platter so that you know where you're gonna put your words. And it doesn't matter if the writing isn't perfect. This is your creation with your family, so it's important that you put your mark on it, you know? Next, liberty. So a lot of countries promise liberty, but America is the only country that lets people have the kind of liberty to work as hard as we want, to be as successful as we can individually. Kind of like this. If you like to work hard and I want to be lazy, then you will most likely become much more successful than me. And that's okay. That's the kind of liberty we have in America, and it means you can do anything. Okay, our last American Trinity value, in God we trust. The fact that we can worship how we want here in America is really special. It's not like that in a lot of other countries. And America was created with God from the Bible as our guide. Our Declaration of Independence says, all people are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In other words, God gives us all our rights, the right to think, pray, and speak, and no one can take away our rights because they come from God. Now that we've got our words, let's finish decorating it. This is where I might need helping hands. Done! Almost. Once you're finished drawing, you're gonna let the whole thing dry completely, don't touch it, for a few hours. Then you're gonna bake this in your oven with nothing on it at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 minutes. Next, turn off your oven, let it sit in there for 30 more minutes, then you take it out, and then you're done. And that's it! Easy peasy and super fun for the whole family. It's also a one-of-a-kind work of art to put all of your snacks, fruit, Independence Day hot dogs, cookies, anything you want on it the next time your family celebrates one of our American holidays. We hope you had fun. If you've got ideas or questions for our next craftery, send them my way. And remember to send us your pictures too. Keep crafting, keep learning, and keep celebrating Land of the Free and Home of the Brave. Bye, guys. Okay, who's got hot dogs? Cookies? Muffins? You guys, I'm hungry.
The ice cream man is coming. The ice cream man is coming.
Quick, can you please buy me some? The ice cream man is coming! The ice cream man is coming!
Easy, Leo. Who do you think you are, Paul Revere?
Who?
I'm filling out this study guide for my American Revolution test. This guy, Paul Revere, is famous for yelling, "The British are coming! The British are coming!" But I'm not finding much info about him. Do you know anything about the American Revolution?
I know that the British coming wasn't a good thing, and that ice cream coming is the greatest thing in the world. Come on, Layla, the ice cream man is about to pass the house.
I seriously don't think you need sugar right now, but I'll get you some ice cream. If you come with me to get info about Paul Revere.
2 scoops.
Deal. Paul Revere, here we come.
Mint chocolate chip, here I come.
A good morrow to you, future children.
A good morrow to you, fine sir. Nice beard.
I don't think we're in the right place. This guy doesn't look like the pictures, and this doesn't look like revolutionary times.
Excuse me, my good man. We're looking for a Mr. Paul Revere.
Ah, I see. Indeed, I am not Mr. Revere, but alas, you've come to the right place and time to learn about him. It was my poem that made his name famous.
Then who might you be, my fine fellow?
Actually, it's Longfellow. Here in 1874, I'm America's favorite poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
His name is longer than his beard.
Shh, be nice and quit it with the voice. So, why did you write a poem about Paul Revere so long after he died? I'm gathering information about him for a school assignment.
In my time, the United States was a divided nation. Many Americans didn't get along with each other because they had different beliefs.
That sounds familiar. In the time that we live, Americans argue over a lot of things.
Unfortunately, young lady, division in America is nothing new. America is a huge country full of citizens with different experiences. The differences give our country unique strengths, but they also make it sometimes hard for all of us to get along.
That makes sense. So you wrote the poem about Paul Revere to help bring Americans together?
Precisely. Countries need to have things that its people can share and be proud of, like symbols, heroes, and holidays. Paul Revere wasn't famous while he was alive, but he should have been. If it wasn't for his bravery and courage, the USA might not exist.
Will you tell us about him?
Back in 1775, America wasn't a country yet. It was a collection of 13 colonies controlled by a king who lived across the ocean in a place called Great Britain. The king was named George, and the American colonists had to follow all of his orders. Paul Revere was a colonist who lived here in Boston, Massachusetts. He was a successful businessman who made things out of silver and scratched very pretty designs on them. To raise money, King George made the American colonists pay taxes. Some Americans put up with the taxes because they didn't want to risk being punished. They didn't want to lose their businesses or go to jail. Other Americans, including Revere, thought King George was breaking the law.
How can a king break the law? I thought kings made the laws.
Great question, young man. A long time before King George, an earlier king made a rule to respect his subjects' rights. American colonists like Revere believed it was against the law that they were being treated differently than other British citizens, so they protested the king's orders.
Was King George upset at the Americans who rebelled?
He was furious and sent his military across the ocean to punish the rebelling colonists in Boston. Rebel leaders like Sam Adams and John Hancock escaped to a small town 20 miles away called Lexington and hid their weapons in the neighboring town of Concord.
So they were safe. What about Paul Revere?
Hold on, young man. The danger was just beginning. Colonists loyal to King George told the British troops where the rebels were. And on the night of April 18th, 1775, troops set out to surprise the rebels and capture them. However, Paul Revere learned of the British plot and rode his horse famously through the Massachusetts countryside to warn his countrymen.
And it worked, right?
It sure did. Revere's warning gave the rebel colonists time to prepare. They were outnumbered and hadn't had nearly as much training as the British. But with help from Paul Revere, the colonists won fights at Lexington and Concord. the first battles of the Revolution.
Do people here in 1874 like your poem?
People love it. It has brought Americans great pride to have such a heroic story to celebrate and to have a hero like Paul Revere. When people have a shared history, it brings them closer together and unites them. In fact, for over 100 years, children your age read my poems in schools across America.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
I don't think many kids know it in our time, but we'll learn it and teach our friends. Right, Leo?
Right, but after we get ice cream. You owe me 2 scoops.
Do you have enough information about Paul Revere for your assignment?
I do, Mr. Wadsworth Longfellow. Thank you very much.
Happy to have been of service. And on your way home, you should stop by the White House in March of 1813.
Why is that?
Our 4th president, James Madison, served ice cream at his inaugural ball.
Did he now?
If you're interested in time traveling with us again, please subscribe to watch more of our adventures.
And be sure to download the free PragerU app today.
Welcome to Otto's Tales, story time brought to you by PrEP, PragerU's resources for educators and parents. Hey, chips! I'm so hungry, thank you. Otto? We'll talk about this later. On with the story. I'm Jill, and today we're reading 10 Steps to Freedom, A Growing Patriot's Guide to the American Revolution, written by Amelia Hamilton, illustrated by Anthony Resto, and book designed by Jennifer Lake. Now, I want you to listen to the rhymes in this story, and at the end, you're gonna tell me why we celebrate the 4th of July. The Tea Act passed, and colonists were mad, so we wanted to return the tea we had. It was wrong for Britain to pass this taxation without colonial representation. Into Boston Harbor, the tea was thrown. The taxes weren't fair and we wouldn't pay. King George and the British had to know that we would fight them from that day. Congress called for colonial resistance. A fight was coming and we would go the distance. 1 if by land and 2 if by sea. In the Old North Church the lanterns would be, to warn that the British would be there soon. 2 brave men rode by the light of the moon. From Boston rode Revere and Dawes. They rode all night and never paused to warn John Hancock and Sam Adams, for we could not let the British have them. Our troops were ready with the light of day. American freedom was on the way. The war began with a single shot at the Battle of Lexington Green. British and colonial soldiers fought, then had to reconvene. The revolution had begun, the colonists fighting back. Sure that freedom could be won, withstanding British attacks. After this important day, it could not be undone. The whole wide world was watching. Revolution had begun. Revolution was on, there was no doubt, so Congress met that spring, striving for victory in every bout, for freedom from the king. Local militias had fought alone, but they had to band together. The Continental Army, as it would be known, would win us our freedom forever. Most importantly, those men in attendance began real steps towards independence. On the 4th of July, when you watch the sky and see it burning bright, remember what it means and why we celebrate that night. The Declaration says that we can govern on our own. They stated our rights and that we would fight to give these rights a home. They freed us all from tyranny and risked it all for liberty. 13 stripes of red and white and 13 stars on blue. Under this flag, we began to fight, and to this day still do. Each colony fighting for us to be free had a stripe on the flag all its own, a new constellation for liberty, as free as the stars that shone. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, or the land of the free and the home of the brave. Creating a firm league of friendship among our 13 states, forging bonds we would not rip, together to share one fate. This document gave our country a name and brought us together as one. The United States we then became. Our new nation had begun. This was it, the true formation of one strong, undivided nation. The Treaty of Paris marked the end of the war they bravely fought, and to this day we respect and defend the founders' deeds and thoughts. John Adams, Ben Franklin, and John Jay made the most of what we'd won. Freedom found its place that day, our country had begun. Once it was signed, we'd officially done it. We had our own nation and the will to run it. Our Constitution is our final word and America's firm foundation. Its words and spirit must always be heard. It is the backbone of our nation. To pass, only 9 states had to vote yes. But Benjamin Franklin said, "To have every state sign, it would be best." All 13 followed where Franklin led. Once each of the states had done its part, our country was off to a running start. In Virginia, George Washington heard the news and rode to New York without delay. The voters had spoken, he would not refuse, our first inauguration day. He became the president at Federal Hall, our capital's original site. Americans came to see it all. This moment was worth the fight. With President Washington, we moved ahead where our founding fathers had bravely led. The end. We love the reading and rhyming in this book, but it's also really important because it explains to us the whole story about how and why brave men and women wanted America to be its own country, separate from Great Britain. Learning American history is fun, and it's something I'm still learning about and having fun with too. And I'm a mommy, right? Now, aren't you glad you're learning all this, Otto? Yes. Oh, and why do we celebrate the 4th of July? Because that's the date when America declared our freedom. Very good. I'm not falling for that again. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep learning. Welcome to Craftery by Prep, PragerU resources for educators and parents. We've got crafts, history, and your questions. I'm Jill, and today we're making a bulletin board to look like Old Glory, our American flag. Here's what you'll need: a rectangle white cork bulletin board, push pins with a flat top, red and blue acrylic craft paint, pre-cut stars about 1 inch wide. Make sure they're the 5-point stars, masking tape, and hot glue. You might need an adult's help with this one. Oh, what's that? We've got a question.
I've seen many different types of American flags. How many flags does America actually have?
Good observation. Okay, historically, the United States has had, officially, 27 different versions of our American flag since the Founding Fathers declared our freedom in 1776. Now, all these different designs were created at different times in our history and show how the USA has really grown. Our very first flag was created in either 1776 or 1777. Historians can't quite agree on this one. A seamstress named Betsy Ross in Philadelphia was the one who sewed it together. And we like to call that flag that we see with 13 stars on it the Betsy Ross flag. Now, some say it was even her idea to make the stars with 5 points. Okay, you ready to make our flag now? Let's go. The first thing we're gonna do is get your masking tape and section out the stripes for our flag. Want to make sure you have 13 stripes, and it's gonna start with a red stripe and end with a red stripe. The parts you leave blank are what we're going to color red, and the parts with the masking tape on it will be the white part of the stripe. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, not so good. Gotta have 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ding, 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 ding. We did it. If you want to be really professional, lock off the part that you don't want to get painted on the frame. Shall we go? Here we go. There's no turning back. Let's start with the blue. Okay, so why do we have red, white, and blue as our colors? Blue stands for perseverance and justice, which means you keep working hard. Okay, red, our first stripe and last stripe, symbolizes hardiness and valor, which means strength and bravery. And like I said, if it's not perfect, it's okay. So we got the red stripe. Remember, where the masking tape is going to be the white stripe, and the white on our flag symbolizes purity and innocence. Last one! Now here's the moment of truth. I need to take off this piece of tape first because we need to fill this in blue. You're gonna gently peel this section back to fill in the rest of the blue. And you can just eyeball it. Did we make it? Woo! Be careful. Okay, not too bad. Time to peel the tape off really carefully. You can actually probably wait for the paint to dry before you peel the tape off, but I was just so excited I had to find out with you. Okay, what we're gonna do now is make our push pin stars. I got regular bulletin board pins, flat top. We got pre-cut stars. These are made out of wood. You can order them online. And all you're gonna do is glue. 50 for 50 states. Our Old Glory is almost done. We've got everything we need to make all different versions of our flag. And like I said, our first flag had 13 stars to represent the 13 colonies. It was flown between 1777 and 1795, when George Washington was president. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 is the Betsy Ross flag! 15 stars were from 1795 to 1818, and this was the flag that inspired Francis Scott Key to write the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem, when he saw the flag flying during the War of 1812. On another note, John Adams, our second president, famously called this blue area during this time a new constellation because of the stars. So 1818 to 1819, there were 20 stars, and soon we had 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, and then it skipped to 43 stars in 1890, eventually reaching 50 stars for 50 states. Ta-da! Jackson's Pop quiz. Do you know the very last state to become a part of the U.S.? If you said Hawaii, you're right! Our 50th star for Hawaii was added on July 4th, 1960. And here's another fun fact. Since 1819, stars are only added with the addition of a state on the 4th of July. And that's why you might see all different kinds of American flags. So, the next time Flag Day rolls around, June 14th, you can tell everyone you know what the stars and stripes actually stand for. We hope you had fun. If you've got ideas or questions for our next craftery, send them our way and send us your pictures when you make your own bulletin board flag. Keep creating, keep learning, and keep celebrating Land of the Free and Home of the Brave. Bye, guys. All right. Can we get this on the wall? I think so.
Hey, Layla, or Uncle Samantha. Get it?
Haha, funny guy. Come take a picture of me. I'm on a PragerForce mission to get as many people as possible to post an American flag before the 4th of July.
Layla, aren't we too young to be in PragerForce? I thought you needed to be in high school to be a member.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm just planning ahead. Hey, nice picture, Leo. Does it say, I'm proud to be an American? You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
It sure does. Let's hang this giant American flag by the front door.
On Independence Day, we can all show our love and respect for the best country on earth.
Join us in posting a picture to Instagram flying the American flag high and proud. Use hashtag ProudAmerican and hashtag FlyTheFlag.
Happy birthday, America!
And happy Independence Day from all of us at PragerU.
Welcome to Otto's Tales, story time brought to you by PrEP, PragerU resources for educators and parents. I'm Jill, and today we're reading Marshall the Courthouse Mouse, a tale of the U.S. Supreme Court, written by Peter W. Barnes and illustrated by Cheryl Shaw Barnes. Now, Otto, sit. Otto, if I don't have the book, I can't read the story. Thank you. Good boy. Silly dog. As I was saying, today we're reading Marshall the Courthouse Mouse. Hear ye, all rise and draw near, America's mice with goodwill and good cheer, are pleased to announce and proud to report the opening term of the Mouse Supreme Court. The court now in session is 9 special mice. They're all very smart and they're all very nice. They're called justices, and their great contribution is to guard and protect the mouse constitution. The one in the middle with the bars on his sleeve is the Chief Justice, Marshall J. Mouse, we believe. All justices are equal, but he is the one who makes sure the work of the court all gets done. This court, the High Court, is the one most renowned, but there are other courts too if you just look around. There are courts in each city and county and town. The mice even have a few courts underground. In all of these courts, a judge is in charge who sits at a bench, a desk very large. But lawyers and juries can also be there to help judges make every court just and fair. Our laws are the rules that all must obey to be a good person or mouse every day. The law says be careful when riding your bike so you don't end up hitting somebody you like. Another law says that it's not right to steal a book, piece of candy, or automobile. And laws say that everyone must go to school. Don't you agree that's a wonderful rule? But one group of laws stands above all the others, declared long ago by our nation's forefathers, who wrote down on paper through long days and nights our grand Constitution and Great Bill of Rights. These documents gave us, you really should read them, a promise to all of liberty and freedom. They gave everybody the freedom to vote, the freedom to worship, and also, please note, the right to free speech and the right to decide how to live your own life, how to live it with pride. These rights are so special, we all must respect them. The Supreme Court's job is to preserve and protect them. It does this whenever it chooses to hear a question or case of a law that's unclear. For disputes about laws aren't all that unusual. In fact, some laws can be unconstitutional. Here's an example the Mouse Congress created. It once passed a law that directed and stated that mice could not eat the same cheese every day. It was a strict law all mice had to obey. It said that on Sundays they had to eat cheddar. On Mondays was Roquefort, which many like better. On Tuesdays, everyone ate mozzarella, from the smallest mouse girl to the biggest mouse fella. Each Wednesday, Swiss cheese was on every plate. On Thursdays, Parmesan everyone ate. On Fridays, American cheese was supreme. And Saturdays, just Philadelphia cream. But some of the mice had thought all along, this law is confusing and odd and just wrong. Each mouse family should always be able to put any cheese it wants on its table. But other mice liked the rules, thinking them good. They wanted the cheese law to stay as it stood. So one side against it, one side in support. Who decides? Well, of course, the Mouse Supreme Court. According to practice and legal tradition, the process must start with a special petition that says there's a question so big and involved, it's something that only the high court can solve. In this case, the justices had to address this difficult question, which went more or less. Does the cheese law deny any mice, large or small, their constitutional rights, any at all? To make a decision, the justices start with oral arguments from lawyers, quite smart. Each lawyer discusses one point of view. The justices listen and ask questions too. But justices need more than that to decide, so they have special helpers called clerks who provide extra research and work. And at the start of each fall, the Chief Justice meets with the clerks, one and all. I'm sure you all know, the Chief Justice said, how important your work is, how much is ahead. But the work may not be as hard as it looks. To help in each case, you should all hit the books. So off to the library they run in a dash, then into the bookshelves they fly like a flash. There are clerks at each desk, there are clerks in each chair, there are books piled up, books and clerks everywhere. This work can take weeks, sometimes it takes months, while the justices study and meet more than once. In private, in conference, to talk and review, to decide on each case what's the best thing to do. In the cheese case, Marshall stood up from the table. Fellow justices, he said, I am sure you are able to see that this case has a simple solution, for it's plain and it's clear from our great Constitution that its words and its meaning grant a most basic right that allows any mouse with a good appetite to choose the cheese he or she wants for a meal, Swiss, blue, or cheddar, whatever they feel. This means that the cheese law, I'm sure you can see, must be struck down now, constitutionally. Hear, hear, said the others. We consent and agree. And they voted with Marshall unanimously. To give their decision, the justices next wrote down an opinion, their words put in text. And by court tradition, what they had agreed was printed on paper for all mice to read. The justices also hand down their decision, announced from their bench with care and precision. Read aloud by a justice, a great declaration to all who are gathered and the rest of the nation. In this way, their decision is spread far and wide. It proclaims the new rules by which all must abide. Each decision makes sure that we all understand that our great Constitution is the law of the land. And that night, at tables of mice everywhere, there were all kinds of cheeses to enjoy and to share. Thanks to 9 justices who care and support and protect all our rights at the great Supreme Court. The end. I'm suddenly hungry for a snack. Listen, we love this story not only because it helps us learn about how our United States Supreme Court works, but because the name Marshall is very important in our country's history. A man named John Marshall was one of the very first Supreme Court Chief Justices, and there was also another Supreme Court Justice named Thurgood Marshall, who was the first Black American appointed to the Supreme Court. Our Supreme Court is very important because it protects our rights and the law of our land, and everyone should know how it works. Otto! How did you know this is just what I wanted? Cheese! You're not in trouble, by the way. Yeah. You want to share? All right. Okay, sit. Good dog. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep learning. You ready? Meow.
This is so unfair. How am I'm gonna be the only, I can't believe
What?
I can't believe Mom and Dad. All my friends are going on a beach trip next month that costs $100, and Mom and Dad are making me pay my own way even though I told them I only have $10 left in my purse.
Nice. Maybe this will teach you some financial responsibility.
Whatever, Leo. That's what Mom and Dad said. You think you're so smart. Remember, I'm your older sister. Don't you lecture me on financial responsibility.
Well, I was just reading about the father of economics, and I think he can help you.
Who is economics?
Economics isn't a who, it's a what, and it has to do with things related to making and saving money. This guy invented the economic system that we use in America. It's called capitalism.
I need to make money fast. Let's go learn about capitalism from its dad?
Well, we'll have to go back in time to Scotland. That is where Adam Smith was from.
I've always wanted to see Scotland.
Maybe we'll see the Loch Ness Monster.
Hello there, laddie and lassie.
I'm Leo, and this is my sister Layla.
Yes. And you're from the future, and you're studying for an economics test. Crivens, you future kids in all your tests.
No, not exactly. We are from the future, but my sister here needs to make $100 pretty quick, and we thought you could help.
Ugh, why didn't you say so? Let me tell you about capitalism. Before I came around, people believed that there was a set amount of wealth for the entire world.
Oh my god, I totally know what wealth means.
It means money, that things you have, like how many things you can buy.
I was totally gonna say that, Leo.
Before capitalism, people believed that more wealth for one meant less for others. This type of economic system limited trade, led to violence, and made some people really rich and most people really, really poor. In capitalism, if everyone focuses on making the best products and services, the wealth of the world is limitless. Even if they're just focusing on themselves, everyone will benefit. Their own self-interest will lead to more happiness and more peace.
So, greed is good.
No, Leo. Self-interest is different from being selfish or greedy. It means doing what is best for yourself will lead to rewards for everyone. If you're a generous and helpful person, you'll be rewarded with friends. If you run a business that is honest and fair, your reward will be loyal customers.
And your customers will benefit from loving what you have to offer.
How do you know what is fair to charge? Who decides who gets to make more money or less money?
Excellent question, Layla. No person decides, and certainly no government does. Fairness is determined by what I call the invisible hand of the market.
Yikes, invisible hand?
I know it sounds spooky, but it just means that the economy runs best when costs and wages are determined naturally by the market. That's when people can negotiate freely about what to charge and what to pay.
So no one should force you to pay more than what you want?
That's right, Leo. Now, what type of business are you going to make?
People might pay to hear me sing. La 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 la.
Or we can pay you not to sing.
Any other ideas? Layla?
We do have 2 giant lemon trees in our backyard that are blooming right now. I have $10 for other supplies. We could have a lemonade stand.
That's a great business idea, Layla.
Yeah, but Layla, there's already a lemonade stand in our neighborhood. Kenny and Karen have theirs 3 blocks away. Won't they get mad?
Under capitalism, competition is good. The invisible hand naturally guides competing businesses to improve the quality of their goods and services. If Kenny and Karen act in the best interest, they won't get mad. They'll try and make better lemonade than you.
Let's go make lemonade, Layla. I'll get lemons from our trees, and you use your $10 to buy the other supplies we need. Bye, Mr. Smith.
Goodbye, kids. Good luck.
2 more lemonades.
People are loving our lemonade.
This is the best lemonade in town.
I thought I hated work, but this is great. I'm gonna have more money than I've ever had.
You're gonna have money. This is Layla's lemonade. You're my baby brother, and you're helping me get the money for my beach trip.
I'm no baby. In fact, I'm your employee. And if I'm not making any money, then I'm out of here. I could be researching stocks and watching the global markets. Bye.
Wait, Leo, don't go. Oh no. What have I done? What am I gonna do? I'm going back to, what was his name again? Oh, Adam Smith.
Hello, Layla. How's the lemonade stand going? Where's your brother?
Mr. Smith, the stand was going good. I don't really like talking to all the customers, but I was making good money. The big problem is that Leo walked off the job and now I'm all alone.
That doesn't sound like Leo. Why did he leave?
He got upset that I wasn't paying him. I thought he was just helping me get to my goal, but he wanted some of the money.
Ah, sounds like Leo acted in his self-interest.
Yeah, I guess so. I need $100 fast, but I need Leo's help too. What should I do?
Bosses have to pay their employees and give them benefits. Pay too much, and your business will fail because of lack of profit. Pay too little, and you'll also fail because your employees will leave. It's the invisible hand that will lead you to the right decision.
I think I know just what it will take to get Leo back and make sure he's a happy employee. Capitalism's a really good system, Mr. Smith.
Thanks, Layla. If you practice my teachings and have good lemonade, you, Leo, and your customers will get what you want. When done right, everybody wins with capitalism.
Okay, bye again.
Goodbye, Layla. Enjoy your work and enjoy the reward of your beach trip.
This is so much fun, and we're making so much money.
Thanks for coming back to work, Leo.
You made me an offer I couldn't refuse. 30% of the profit, the business named after both of us, and stock options when we go public.
I'm going to have enough money to go on as many beach trips as I want. What are you going to do with all your money?
Bitcoin.
If you're interested in time traveling with Leo and Layla again, please subscribe and watch more of their adventures. And be sure to download the free PragerU app today.
That was so much fun! Thank you for joining us. Until our next marathon, keep celebrating Land of the Free and Home of the Brave.